You are growing bloated and rich by corrupting the law.
I may be growing bloated and rich, and I enjoy it, but not by corrupting the law.
Arthur?
Good evening.
If Travers and I went to Glen Eagles for some golf and shared the same room, according to your argument, in law, we would have committed a sexual offence together.
It's not the same thing, old boy.
Now, what did Mr. Justice Scrutton say in his address to the jury in the George Joseph Smith case,
Yes, yes. The jury had to be the judge of facts.
Now, Smith wasn't seen to murder any of his so-called brides in the bath. Whiskey and soda, please.
Usual, please. No, but if a man marries 5 women, ensures their lives, and they're all drowned in their baths, it is a reasonable assumption that he has murdered them.
It's not direct evidence.
Similarly, if a man spends 8 hours in a hotel bedroom with a woman other than his wife, it is a reasonable assumption that he has committed adultery.
It's a reasonable assumption, but it is not direct evidence of adultery.
It is, old boy, as long as I'm paid enough to prove that it is.
Sherry. Evening, Travers.
Good evening, Humphrey.
By the same token, if a man and a woman spend 8 hours in a hotel bedroom, you can conclude that adultery has taken place.
Good evening, Humphrey.
Good evening, sir.
It was a great speech you made last night, Humphrey.
Yes, I thought so too, sir. Read it in the Times this morning.
It was a summing up before the judgment.
Oh, really, sir? It can't be as serious as all that, surely. Anyway, it's all behind us now.
I don't like you, Carstairs. I never did. I tolerate you because of your breach.
This divorce business is hypocritical, though. I've just arranged a divorce for Lady Elverston. Arranged evidence, all that sort of thing. Queen Mary wouldn't have her at Ascot yesterday, but she smiled most graciously at me.
Yes, in my day, no decent legal man would sit down to dinner with a divorce counsel. I sit down with you, Carstairs, be thankful and listen to what I have to say.
You are out of date, Humphrey.
It was a summing up, Arthur. And when have I been known to sum up without proper respect for the evidence?
German espionage agents in England now. You might as well say that the Kaiser's been received at Buckingham Palace again.
Ridicule has always lost the case for defending counsel, Arthur.
I would confine myself to the evidence, my lord. Germany was defeated by the Allied powers in 1918.
You're wrong even on the facts of evidence. Germany was not defeated. Not to the Germans.
You're a dangerous man, Humphrey. Mischievous. There can be no peace in this world if men like you keep old hatreds going.
Calling on Sir Humphrey again?
No, I wasn't. Not tonight.
Tell me, Orm, why should you call on him at all? Anarchist, National Socialist, whatever it is you call yourself, you stand for tearing the world down. Sir Humphrey fights to preserve the crumbling edifice.
Let me tell you this. I object less to what Sir Humphrey Gwynne stands for than I object to what you do, sir.
My good fellow, if what you want is social justice in this world, it's men like Sir Humphrey Gwynne who should be put down, not men like me. What can a man like that know of the many sentences to death, life imprisonment, and what have you?
And what possible interest can you have in social justice? The amount of money you spend on orchids alone would keep a family in the East End for 1 whole year.
You talk in abstract theories. If I were to give up my orchids to feed a family in the East End, it would accomplish nothing. My gardeners, who have been taught to bring beauty into the world, would starve. Your family in the East End, who's been taught to bring nothing to the world, would gorge themselves to death.
No pity, no compassion, no love for your fellow human beings.
Let any man ask me to donate money for one of your social abstract theories, and I would give him not 1 penny. Let any man ask me to support the deserving poor, not 1 penny. But let any man ask me to support a school where the young can be taught to bring beauty into the world and at the same time provided with the means of earning a living, I will give him what he asks. Good evening to you.
You too. Good evening.
Damn, the keys.
Now, there's nobody going to deny that you've done great work, Humphrey. You've been a great casey and a great judge.
Sounds like an obituary notice.
Mind you, I wouldn't have sent Hartley to the gallows.
The judge administers the law, he does not make it. It was the jury that found Hartley guilty.
It was his companion who fired the fatal shots.
He was party to the murder. The intention that night was to kill. It matters not who fired the shots. It would be a weak man that would think otherwise. You'd make a bad judge, Arthur.
I wouldn't make a public fool of myself. German espionage agents in England now. You don't know what you're talking about, Humphrey. You're like an opera singer who doesn't know when she's too old to sing Carmen.
When I'm too old to know what I'm talking about, I shall know that I'm too old to know what I'm talking about. But I shall still play the game by the rules of evidence.
I know what I'm doing, Humphrey.
I hope you do, Arthur. I hope you do. Green! Green!
Thank you, Mr. Bagshaw.
Oh,
No. Allow me.
Oh,
Oh, would you like a drink, mademoiselle?
Oh, thank you, Mr.
Monsieur Flambeau. Monsieur Hercule Flambeau, a man as internationally famous as the Kaiser.
Yes, and only because I was no vulgar thief. And you are a vulgar thief whether you steal from a kitchen maid or a duchess. The art of making money from crime is to have a sense of humor. Now, my Tyrolean dairy, well, that amused even Beaverbrook. Only my Tyrolean dairy products contain the pure vitamins necessary for prolonging life. I bought all my milk from the co-op, relabeled it, and sold it at twice the price.
You're a private detective now, Flambeau. You say you've given up crime and turned respectable, but you haven't. You're still a criminal.
My clients come to me because they think I know the game on both sides of the fence, not because I am on both sides.
So now what happens? You're Lady X. She goes out one night, she meets a gigolo, she takes him home to her bed. He disappears the following morning with her brooch. She doesn't inform the police because she does not want her husband to know of her infidelity. So she hires a private detective to try and recover the brooch. In fact, she authorises you to pay the thief a large sum of money. Well, she not only compounds a crime, she's prepared to commit another by being willing to bribe the thief, and you commit a felony by accepting money to assist her. She should have gone to the police in the first place, and so should you.
But I have come to you. I have persuaded my client it is her duty to have her gigolo arrested. I see the husband, and he promises forgiveness.
Oh, but it's not only that. I mean, why is it that people always presume the private detective can do more than the professional? Even in fiction. The policeman's trade is the only trade in which the professional is wrong and the amateur right. Admittedly, we have the disadvantage of going by rule, but what the writers don't allow us is the advantage of going by rule of logic.
Ah, now, surely Sherlock Holmes would say that he went by logical rule.
Very well, then let's take an imaginary case of Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes can tell that a total stranger crossing the street is a foreigner merely because he looks to his left instead of his right. But what they leave out is that the official detective might equally guess. And not only that, the policeman might know the man was a foreigner, merely because his department have kept an eye on all foreigners.
Oh, another drink for you.
No, we must go.
Night, Mr. Bagshaw.
Good night, Flotty.
Good night, mademoiselle.
Good night, Mrs.
Another florrie, please.
Yes, Mr. Green.
If a man were to come out of this house, you might be able to tell me he was a foreigner by the way he looked before he crossed the road. But I could tell you more. The father is English, but the mother is German. The son believes in some new social theory, writes plays and pamphlets about it.
I have heard something of this new theory.
This house here belongs to a man named Buller, self-made millionaire we have to keep an eye on. Oh, there's lots of people that'd like to have a go at him just because he's a millionaire. This house belongs to Sir Humphrey Gwynn, better known as Mr. Justice Gwynn, the old judge who made such a row about spying during the war. He's still making speeches about it, says it's still going on. Well, we have to keep an eye on him. He's always getting threats of one sort or another. A rather heavy revolver, fired twice. And it seemed to come from in here. Quick, follow me. There's another gate into the garden round the corner.
Voila! I see a quicker way.
Oh,
Is he having a party? The
No.
garden seems to be illuminated.
he has a little plant of electricity that he operates from the summer house.
Well, they look like danger signals.
And there are danger signals.
Dead. 2 shots through the chest.
I think you've got a bit of explaining to do.
Well, I don't know anything about this. I found him lying dead. I only came to interview him for the paper.
What's your name?
Michael Flood.
Irish Times. You usually interview people at 10:30 at night?
Well, why not? His lordship spends the whole day at the law courts. Give him time to have his dinner and mellow over his port. And then he might talk.
Now, how did you get in?
Over the wall.
And when you interview a man, do you generally climb over the wall?
An interviewer may very well climb over the wall, for I could get no reply at the front door. The servant had gone out.
How do you know?
Because I'm not the only person who climbs over garden walls. It may be just possible that you did it yourself. Anyhow, the servant just did.
Green?
Why, it's Mr. Bagshot. What is it?
Sir Humphrey's dead.
Murdered?
Murdered. You know anything about it?
I didn't even know his lordship was in the house. He left at 7 o'clock to go to the Whig Club.
Did you see him come back?
No, he said he wouldn't be back until nearly 12.
Where have you been?
Oh, I saw him. Sitting where we were, enjoying his English beer. Did you not?
Why did you come back in over the garden wall?
Oh, the garden gate was shut.
Is there anyone who can testify to your identity?
Well, no, I've only just arrived over from Ireland. The only person that I do know is Father Brown at the All Saints community.
Father Brown?
Oh, Father Brown has been my friend for many years. If Mr. Flood is calling Father Brown as his testimonial, he's most certainly telling the truth. Or he is the most outrageous and daring liar who deserves to succeed in his lies. As I, too, was the most daring and outrageous liar who deserved to succeed in mine.
Interesting.
We heard shots and got in over the garden wall. Sir Humphrey was murdered in the garden. Quinn is well known for his views on espionage. He thinks there is a spy ring in this country. The inspector thinks it may have something to do with it. Inspector Bagshaw, my friend, Father Brown.
Oh, good evening, Father.
Good evening, Inspector. Ah, Flood, dear fellow.
Oh, you can identify this man?
Oh, yes, indeed. An excellent writer, Michael. He once wrote a most flattering account of some matter in which I became unwittingly, if not unwillingly, involved.
They suspect me, Father.
Oh? Why, indeed, so?
Because I climbed over the wall, I could get no reply at the front door. I knew the old man was in.
Yes, well, I'm glad you can identify him, but he did enter the garden in an irregular fashion.
Oh, yes, he did enter the garden in an irregular fashion. All the best people seem to get over garden walls these days. I believe you did yourself, Inspector. I entered the garden by the gate. I then entered the house by the front door. I often enter houses that way.
Excuse me, Father, but does it very much matter how you entered the house?
Well, when I entered the house, I saw something you may not have seen, Inspector. It seemed to me at the time that it might have something to do with it. Isn't that so, Flounder?
It is so.
What did you see?
A large mirror, broken, and a palm knocked over.
I'll go and have a look.
There's been a struggle here, and it must have been between Sir Humphrey and his murderer.
Yes, Inspector. I thought something must have happened.
Yes. The murderer could have entered by the front door. Probably Sir Humphrey let him in. They walked along the passage, reached as far as here. The murderer suddenly pulls out a gun. There's a struggle. He fires, hits the mirror. Sir Humphrey manages to free himself and escape in through that door into the garden, where he's pursued by the murderer and finally shot beside the pond.
2 shots were fired here. One hit the mirror, there, and landed here. But the other was fired low and is lodged here.
Well, we knew he was afraid of something. I suppose that's why he kept this.
Right, sir. Oh, Inspector, would you mind if I stayed? And my friend, Father Brown.
Please do, gentlemen. Now then, Mr. Flood, there are several questions I should like to ask you.
Sure.
Why should you want to interview Sir Humphrey, Mr. Justice Gwynn? Why not Mr. Justice Hampton or Mr. Justice Acton?
He was insulting about Ireland. Derogatory.
In what way was he derogatory?
Well, no, he got a bee in his bonnet that Germany would start another war. And that England would be invaded from Ireland, with Ireland as Germany's ally.
Oh, yes, Inspector. Yes, indeed. I remember the speech now. It caused a little embarrassment at the Vatican.
Why should it do that?
Well, it implied that the apostolic delegate to Ireland, the Archbishop, and all his priests were plotting with the Germans to assist them in the conquest of England.
Thank you, Father.
Did he say that?
Yes, indeed. Mr. Justice Gwynn suggested, I believe, that certain top-ranking officials were being approached with the promise of high office in an occupied land.
Thank you, Father. And what other officials are there in Ireland, except the priests?
Yes, well, that will do for the moment, Mr. Flood. Don't let him go yet, Constable. And bring in Green.
Sir. I trust you, Father, to look after my good name.
You may leave that to me, Mr. Flood, and to God.
Thank you, Father.
An Irish patriot. He had a reason for killing Gwynn, and he could have done. Well, he gets in over the garden wall, enters the house quite easily through the front door. Struggle in the hall, follows Sir Humphrey into the garden and shoots him.
Yes, he could have done, Inspector, but he didn't. Mr. Flood has not got the mind of a murderer.
Green, sir.
Yeah, Green, now, let's get your story straight.
There is no story, Inspector. I went out about 10. I left the garden gate open. And when I came back about 10:30, it was shut. And Sir Humphrey was dead.
Are there any other servants in the house?
No, sir, I do everything.
Did you know that Sir Humphrey kept this?
Oh, yes, sir. You know as well as I do, he was always receiving threatening letters.
What did he do with them?
Kept them in the safe, I suppose.
Where is his safe?
In the summer house.
Why did you leave the garden gate unlocked?
Because I'd forgotten my keys.
Well, if you've forgotten your keys, how did you unlock the gate to get out?
You can open the lock from the inside.
And when you got back, it was shut?
Yes, sir.
What did you think about that?
That a policeman had slammed it.
Why should a policeman slam the garden gate?
Well, you know why, Inspector, because they've been ordered to keep an eye on the place.
Inspector, may I ask a question, please?
What?
Mr. Green, when you went out, you left the gate open because you'd forgotten your keys?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And did you also leave the door from the hall into the garden open?
Yes, sir.
Ah, yes, I thought you might have done. Thank you, Inspector.
Right, Green, that will do for the moment. Yes, Green could have left the garden gate open. And the door into the hall. By arrangement with the murderer.
Well, if Sir Humphrey was expected to return between 10 and 10:30.
The servant Green goes out to establish an alibi.
The murderer enters by the garden gate and gets into the house through the garden door. Sir Humphrey, hearing a noise in the hall, goes out from here and comes face to face with the murderer. Struggle. Sir Humphrey manages to escape into the garden, but he's overtaken and killed. The murderer then goes out, closing the garden gate by arrangement with Green, so that Green has to come back over the garden wall, making him look innocent.
Yes. May I suggest that the inspector looks in Sir Humphrey's summer house?
And what do you expect to find there, Father?
Mine is an unpardonable curiosity, Flounder.
Yes, well, I have every intention of examining the summer house.
Inspector? They say it's bad luck to break a mirror.
Yes, so they do.
Death was instantaneous. 2 bullets in the chest.
Thank you, Doctor. Found the weapon? No, sir. The men are still looking.
This appears to be a record of particular cases he has tried. And they all have one thing in common. They're all people convicted of espionage during the war.
Symbols from a mahjong set, Inspector?
It's a code.
The code, yes.
Codes can be broken.
Yes, but not if a code is not meant to be transmitted to another.
Observe, Inspector, the ink blotches near this entry. Surely that indicates that he was disturbed whilst making it?
Murderer.
The motive of the murderer is now different. And then there's the symbol, which could be the person, of course. Suspects I know.
The old boy must have been right. There must have been a spy ring building up in England.
The mind of a man who could betray his country. That I should fully like to comprehend.
Yes, well, gentlemen, please do not touch this book. It'll have to be examined by intelligence.
Flambeau, there's something curious about this entry. Suspects I know. Why then did the murderer not remove the entry? He must have guessed that Sir Humphrey kept a record.
Yes, but he could have been disturbed.
Yes, our friend Michael Flood.
The murder weapon, sir. In the pond, a German Luger.
Good, now we're getting somewhere at last. Found anything else?
Footprints, sir. They look like the footprints of a man with small feet. But there is something rather curious here, sir.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening.
Who are you?
I am Osric Orme.
So you are Osric Orme.
I am he.
You know this man?
I've read of his political views, Inspector. I am, of course, in disagreement with them.
And are his political views anything to do with the murder of Sir Humphrey?
They may well be.
In that case, Mr. Orme, I think you better explain what you're doing up there.
Curiosity.
Curiosity is no answer.
It is the exact one.
Have you been in the house of Mr. Justice Gwynn tonight?
No.
So, here we are again. Decided to go in and see the old boy, did you?
Mr. Fuller, Sir Humphrey has been murdered.
Murdered?
I'm investigating the case and I must ask you to explain.
Well, all I meant was that when I passed about an hour ago, I met Orme outside Sir Humphrey's front gate.
Lights switched on. Sir Humphrey had returned. Give him a moment to settle in. Shots. Sir Humphrey lying dead beside the pool. A man next to him. The arrival of York himself. Another man. And then the servant came back over the wall. It was curiosity, dear fellow. I was just curious to see the rest of the drama.
Father Brown, you said that this man's political theories may have something to do with the murder.
His theories, yes, Inspector, but not the man.
But why not the man?
Mr. Orme believes as passionately in his faith as I believe in mine. He also believes, I think I'm right in saying, Mr. Orme, that a man should be free to choose his own destiny, and that he cannot do so whilst his life is controlled by the church and what is called the privileged class.
That is right, that is right.
To quote his own words, abolish the church, abolish the privilege of wealth, and man will be free to lead a full and fruitful life.
That is quite right, Father, quite right.
In his own way, Mr. Orme believes as passionately as I do that man's life is sacred. And for that reason, you would not expect me to commit a murder, Inspector.
Of course not.
Now, that's the new social theory you were talking about, Inspector. It's very popular in Germany. And the leader of the party there believes that he and his ideas will conquer the world.
Yes, that's what Sir Humphrey was always making speeches about.
Yes, indeed, I believe so.
Yes, well, that will do, Mr. Orme. For the moment. Don't let him go, Constable. If the murderer did enter by the garden gate, Orme sitting up in that damn vine house would have seen him, and he would have seen the murder.
He should have seen him.
Yes, obvious what has happened. Obvious. Green, the servant, goes out by the back gate, leaving the door open, and the garden door into the hall. Sir Humphrey, arriving home earlier than expected, goes out to the summer house, and then for some reason returns here to the house. Orme enters by the garden gate and gets into the house. They meet, struggle. Sir Humphrey escapes into the garden, but Orme follows him and shoots him. Orme then sees Flood coming over the garden wall. So he throws the gun into the pond to implicate Flood. But now his exit's cut off. He panics. The vine arbour. He gets up into the vine arbour, but once up there, finds the height too great for a man of his weight to climb back down into the street. So he decides to wait for a quieter moment and then make his escape.
The footprints from the path to the body.
We shall have them tested, but they will be Orme's. They're the footprints of a man with small feet.
Orme is a large man.
Large men often have small feet. Orme has small feet. I noticed it deliberately.
Oh, then you have all the logic you were talking about, Inspector. You have the German revolver, you have the opportunity, you have the German sympathies, you have the man with small feet, and the murdered man a spy catcher.
But, Inspector, Osric Orme is not the man who killed Sir Humphrey.
And why not?
Osric Orme does not look like the murderer.
And if it's not Orme, who is it?
Mr. Orme is an idealist. A mistaken idealist, but an idealist nevertheless. Now, there are men who want power, and the idealism of others becomes the means by which they hope to obtain it. Such men are dangerous. But I don't think that we should be looking for a man with a lean and hungry look. It's a better playwright than Mr. Orme once said.
So your murderer is a man who wants power?
Yes. And a man who wants power often feels that he's a failure.
And do you know who this man is?
No, Inspector. No, I do not. But I can see him. I can see him quite clearly.
Well, I can't. And neither could Osric Orme sitting up in that damned vine house. I'm arresting him and charging him with the murder of Sir Humphrey Gwynn.
Murder is a brutal, foul deed which shocks every one of us. But murder in which the victim is a man of advanced years shocks us even more. And when the victim is a man of advanced years and Sir Humphrey Gwynn, then every sense and feeling in our body is revolted and outraged. Sir Humphrey Gwynn was a great man, a humane human being. He believed passionately in the cause of justice. He was uncompromising to the man who had committed a deliberate and coldly calculated act of felony. But to the man who had been driven to crime by hunger, by deprivation, by pain, by suffering, he gave a new meaning to the word justice. He restored many a man and woman to a new life by forgiving and not punishing. Now, during those terrible war years, Sir Humphrey Gwynn spoke for every one of us. Sir Humphrey could have pity and forgive the man driven to desperate crime, but he could not forgive the traitor. For him, he had no pity, no mercy. For him, the ultimate penalty. Sir Humphrey Gwynn in the past few years has raised his voice to warn us that those dangers are not past, that there are those in Germany who seek revenge for her defeat, that there are in this country today agents working to that end. He was determined that these evil men should be rooted out. His brutal death will cause us to reflect and to ask ourselves how far he was right. We can say that Sir Humphrey Gwynn has given his life because he loved his country.
It is a good opening.
An emotional speech, and one the jury will remember.
You're quite sure you left the garden gate open?
Yes.
Oh, yes. He left the garden gate open, all right.
You were not expecting Sir Humphrey home until much later?
No, sir. Sir Humphrey had said that after dinner he was going to play bridge, and he would not be home before 12.
But we do know by the tragic events that followed that he did return home earlier than he was expected. In fact, during the time you were out.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I should like to know why Sir Humphrey returned home early.
And you have expert knowledge in all matters of firearms?
Certainly.
Can you identify the firearm before you?
Yes, it's of German manufacture. It was standard issue for German officers during the war.
And would such a firearm be easily obtainable?
After the war, they were being sold quite openly.
And it was bullets from this firearm that killed Sir Humphrey?
Yes.
And it was bullets from this weapon that were found in the hall?
Yes.
A grave task has been entrusted to me in defending Mr. Osric Orr. He denies utterly and completely that he murdered Sir Humphrey Gwynn. He denies utterly and completely that the murder weapon found in the pond was his. He does not deny that he intended to call on Sir Humphrey that night. He frequently called on Sir Humphrey, and he will tell you that they frequently talked long into the night. You may ask why these two disparate people talked long into the night. The old gentleman, the conservative, the younger man, the writer with revolutionary ideas. They both had one thing in common, a love of England and a desire to see world peace. Mr. Osric Orme is the son of a diplomat, a man who served his country loyally. His mother is German, and Mr. Osric Orme spent a great many of his childhood days in Berlin, where he learnt to love Germany. Mr. Osric Orme, in his writings, has preached that there must be a new world order. The new world order must be based on an understanding between Germany and England. Does that make him a German espionage agent who foully and brutally murdered a man known to be the enemy of all traitors?
Father? Oh, a small whiskey, if I may. My usual, please.
Brilliant opening for the prosecution by Travers.
Oh, he was tremendous. He was caustic to Gwynn the night Gwynn was murdered, if you remember. He feels guilty, I suppose, about it now. I dare say that's why he feels so strongly about the case. I suppose it's doubtful whether a man ought to allow his personal feelings to come into a thing like this.
Travers was tremendous, but not for those reasons. It's a gift from the gods, this prosecution. Travers has always wanted the bench. Put up a good show prosecuting the murderer of the greatest legal mind in the country, and he thinks he can get it.
What do you think, Father?
Oh, beg your pardon. You know, what strikes me, gentlemen, is how different some men look without their wigs. You talk about the prosecuting counsel being so tremendous, but I happen to have seen him just walk in just now, and he really is a very different man. He's quite bald, for one thing.
Well, I'm afraid that won't prevent him from being tremendous. You don't propose that we found the defense on the fact that the prosecuting counsel has a bald head to...
Yes, I suppose Travers does feel strongly. I suppose he feels it's his fault Gwynn was murdered that night.
Oh, why so?
Gwynn had made a speech at a London University dinner the night before. He'd been at it again about espionage in England. He did go on a bit about it. Some of us had begun to wonder whether he wasn't a bit going off his rocker. Well, the old boy was a distinguished man. You have to tolerate an old man's follies, if he was an old fool.
Oh, yes, of course.
Travers said what a lot of us have been thinking. In fact, he said more. He said he was a dangerous old fool. After that rubber, Gwynn refused to play with him, went home.
Mine's the whiskey.
You don't seem to be concerned by these proceedings.
Oh, I am concerned. If this is the British law's modus operandi, then the sooner it is destroyed and replaced by a better system, the sooner the British citizen will know the meaning of justice.
Thank you. There was no reply to the doorbell, so you then went for a walk round the grounds.
I went for a walk in the garden.
Even though this was the property of another man?
Sir Humphrey would have had no objection.
You then went and sat in the wine arbour?
That is so.
To await his return?
To wait his return.
Yes. Now, the theory has been advanced that during the absence of the servant Green, an unknown assassin entered by the garden gate, walked up to the house, entered it by the garden door, where, meeting Sir Humphrey, fires at him. Sir Humphrey escapes into the garden, where he's followed and murdered.
That would appear to be something of the truth.
Yet from where you were sitting in the Varnaba, you could have seen an assassin enter the house. You could have heard the shots. You could have seen an assassin follow Sir Humphrey into the garden. You could have seen all this.
I could have seen it, yes.
You could have seen all this, and you saw nothing.
I saw that Sir Humphrey Gwynn had been shot.
That is all you saw?
Yes.
That is all you saw? You saw only that he had been shot?
Yes!
I saw that Sir Humphrey had been shot, that's all I saw.
That's it.
Orm can't get round that one. Now, what are you contemplating, Father Brown?
Well, to tell you the truth, I was contemplating how little some kinds of people know about other kinds of people. Now, supposing I went out and about amongst some strange people who'd never heard of England. When I told them that in that country there were men who put on their heads contraptions made of horsehair, eh? With little tails hanging down behind and little tight grey curls at the side. Well, they'd think they must be rather eccentric, wouldn't they? Because they'd never heard of English barristers. They wouldn't know what a barrister is.
You have some ludicrous and impossible theories for helping defense counsel, Father Brown.
Well, a barrister doesn't know what a writer is. He's aware of his own eccentricities, but not that of a writer's.
Father Brown, what are you getting at?
Well, a writer's eccentricities wouldn't appear eccentric to other writers. Now, a barrister, of course, thinks it's odd that a writer should go walking around a garden and going sitting in a vine arbor. But a writer would think nothing of sitting in a vine arbor for 10 hours, if necessary, if he were writing a play. It never occurred to your leader to ask him the obvious question.
What question do you mean?
Well, what play was he writing? What theme was he trying to express? What climax was he working up to? If a barrister knew anything about writing, he'd know that one half of it is done by seeming to do nothing.
Well, that's all very well, but whatever he was doing, he says he saw nothing.
Ah, but he did. But only what was in his own mind.
My lord, members of the jury, is there any doubt that the man accused of the murder of Sir Humphrey Gwynn is guilty? He is a man who has made no secret of his pro-German sympathies. He does not deny that he was about to call on Sir Humphrey Gwynn that night. The murder weapon that was found is of German origin. Now he enters the house by the garden gate, left open by the servant Green. He rings the doorbell. He denies that Sir Humphrey answered the door, but Sir Humphrey must have answered the door. Sir Humphrey asks him in, and why should he not? He was not an infrequent visitor. Of what happened then, we can never be completely sure. Did Sir Humphrey that night accuse him of being a German espionage agent? Had he accused him before? Had he previously threatened to expose him? Whatever, there is no doubt that Mr. Osric Orme came round that night with a murderous weapon on his person and with murder in his heart.
We are asked to believe a most extraordinary story. A man commits a murder and remains in the vicinity. He could have escaped from the vine arbor. The drop to the street was a long one, but that would have been nothing to a man in a desperate situation. And would a man of no German sympathies have left the weapon, a German weapon, in the garden? My learned friend has made much of the fact that if Sir Humphrey had met his death by another hand, that person would have been seen by the accused to enter the garden. He would have been seen to enter the house. He would have heard the shots from inside the house. He would have seen Sir Humphrey enter the garden. He would have heard the shots fired. He would have seen the murder of Sir Humphrey. He need not have seen. For Osric Orme, the man accused of this cruel and vicious killing, is a writer. A distinguished counsel once said that the art of the conjurer is to make an audience see what he expects to see. Mr. Orme did not expect to see murder. His mind, no doubt, was on some piece of writing. Now, the concentration of the artist is such that it can obliterate all other scenes.
Well, it sounded a convincing enough argument when you said it, Father Brown, not when Blake did. The jury will bring in a verdict of guilty in the morning.
Travers will get the bench, I think. It's ironic, because he really hated Gwynn, you know.
Indeed? Why so?
Gwynn was the greatest legal mind in the country. and he'd put Travers down in court on more than one occasion. Travers would have been on the bench now but for Gwyn. But you see, Travers was inclined to be a bit hot-tempered. His ambition made him overstep his prudence, and Gwyn, who had a passion for the law, once made him apologize publicly in court. That sort of thing did him no good at all. And it didn't endear Travers to Gwyn. Please excuse me for a moment.
Yes.
Drink, Father.
Ambition. Yes, of course, ambition. Ambition is a very dangerous thing. When a man tries to find his peace with God, he can be said to be ambitious. And for that reason, even priests have been known to be killers.
Now, what are you trying to say? You're trying to suggest that Gwyn was murdered by the court chaplain?
I am saying what I've always said. That Osric Orme did not murder Sir Humphrey, and I know what the murderer looks like.
Oh, come, Father.
The prosecution's story of Osric Orme entering the hall does not ring true. How could any man fire at Sir Humphrey at so close a range and not kill him? Why did Sir Humphrey go into the garden? Why not into the study? It was nearer. His telephone, his gun was there.
But we know he did come out of the house because he was found in the garden.
He never went out of the house because he was never in the house, not at the time the murderer entered the garden gate.
But he must have been.
At the time the murderer entered the garden gate, Sir Humphrey was sitting in the summer house.
But there'd been shooting in the hall. What about the broken mirror, the palm? There must have been a struggle.
Oh, yes, something did happen. But it wasn't a struggle.
Then what broke the mirror?
The bullet. The bullet broke the mirror. The bullet fired by the criminal.
But there were two shots.
The second shot was fired low. The shock of the breaking glass caused the murderer to fire the second shot.
But who could the murderer have been firing at if it wasn't Gwyn?
Well, in a sense, he was firing at Gwyn. But Gwyn wasn't there to be fired at. The murderer was alone in the hall.
If it wasn't Orme, it still doesn't tell us who it is.
No. Imagine the scene in the hall. The mirror, the tall palm. Now, in the half-light, a man reflected in the mirror would look a little like Sir Humphrey, would he not? Even if the image were only slightly like him.
I'm beginning to see.
Now, Osric Orme could not possibly have mistaken his image for that of Sir Humphrey. We need a man with a physical similarity to Sir Humphrey. That's what I mean when I say I know what the murderer looks like.
All right, it's a good theory.
I'm going to argue one of the very things that you said was so ludicrous and impossible.
What do you mean?
I'm going to base the defense on the fact that the prosecuting counsel has a bald head.
Oh, my God.
Travers?
Didn't you say that Travers was an ambitious yet disappointed man?
But what would Travers hope to gain?
In a German-occupied England, he would hold the highest legal office in the land.
Oh, my God.
Gentlemen, an innocent man's life is at stake. I suggest, Mr. Carstairs, you telephone Inspector Bagshaw immediately. He wouldn't believe a word I say.